Wait for a minute, beta. Yes, Sadar. Good morning, children. So yesterday, what we did was mitochondria, and I told you the structure, the what is mitochondria, what are its characteristic features. I also you understand the structure of the crystal and how the elementary particles are located on it and how ATP synthesis takes place. So we were discussing the last point of mitochondria, and that point is functions of mitochondria. So I'll start with that, functions of mitochondria. So I start with the functions of mitochondria. The board is visible to you, children? The written part is visible to you? Any problem? Yes, beta? I'm audible and in listening and in the visibility. Is there any problem, or it is okay? The board is visible. Is it blurred or not? Is it okay? Okay. One, clear the lens. It's a little blurred. Okay. My voice is cracking. See, cracking of, and the screen is blurred. Cracking is not because of this. Cracking is because of connectivity. Of course, the blur screen can be because of Is it okay now, children? The camera is okay now? Yes, beta. Is the camera okay now? Still blurred. It is because of the connectivity. Okay, Amrita is saying it's clear. Okay, Amrita, fine. I think the ones who are not getting it properly, just check their connectivity also, because to me it is clear. On my screen it is clear. Now, if it continues, then let me know. Now, children, so we were doing the functions of mitochondria, and in functions of mitochondria, I start with the first function, which is ATP synthesis. So the first function of mitochondria is ATP synthesis. What is this ATP synthesis? Yesterday I told you that there are the structures which are arranged on the inner membrane of mitochondria. That means the which had a base. This is the mitochondria. This is the inner membrane of mitochondria, which has invaginations known as cristae. And these inner membrane, they have these structures which are known as oxysomes, or elementary particle, or F0, F1 particles, or elementary particle oxysomes also. So when you see them, they appear to be like this. They appear to be like this. It has a base. This is the base, and then further extended into the stalk, and then the F1 particle. So it appeared to be like that. And in the intermembrane space, when this 2H increases, what happens? They tend to move towards the matrix, And in the matrix, because in the matrix the protons are less, so when they can only move through these oxysomes. So when they move from here, what happens? The ADP and ATP join to synthesize ATP. So this is how, and this area, this F1 particle, this head part of oxysome is rich in, it has an enzyme which is known as ATP synthetase, and it helps in the synthesis of ATP. So the first function of mitochondria is ATP synthesis. The second function of mitochondria is, I think it is clear now. Yes, beta, it is. Clear. Yes, beta, I think it's clear to you now. I think it's clear to you now, beta. The board is clear to you now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, bache, the next function, of mitochondria is, the second function is the, as I told you, the middle part of the sperm. The middle part of sperm, which is also known as Neberkern, Neberkern, which is also known as Neberkern, is rich in mitochondria. This is rich in mitochondria. Rich in mitochondria. I'm writing empty for mitochondria. Now, if you see the sperm appears to be like this. This is the anterior part of the sperm. Then we have this. And then finally, we have the tail part of the sperm. This is the tail part of the sperm. Now, if we see, here it is like this. This is the middle part, and this middle part has mitochondria. And why mitochondria is present here? The mitochondria provides energy, and that energy is required for the movement of the sperm. You know that sperm has to move till the oviduct. It reaches the oviduct where it fertilizes the ovum. So for that, it moves by moving its tail. And for this movement, okay, to reach the oviduct, part of that energy is provided because this has to provide, ATP is provided for this movement. ATP is provided, and ATP will only be provided when there will be mitochondria, because mitochondria is the organelle which synthesizes ATP. So this mitochondria synthesizes ATP, and then ATP is provided, which helps in the movement of the sperm. So this is the second function of mitochondria, that is providing ATP. The third function of mitochondria, that is thermogenesis. Thermogenesis, the third function is thermogenesis. Thermogenesis is generation of heat. Generation of heat. So mitochondria is, because see, heat is always related with energy. Heat is always related with energy. Heat is a form of energy. So mitochondria is the organelle which produces heat. That means it helps in the genesis of heat also. Thermo means thermio, or thermo means, you can say thermogenesis or thermogenesis. This is heat, genesis is generation or production. So of course, when energy is produced, it will produce heat also. Then the next function of mitochondria, the fourth function of mitochondria, is vitellogenesis. Vitellogenesis we have done a day before. If anybody remembers what is vitellogenesis? Yes, if anybody remembers, we have done this a day before. If anybody remembers what is vitellogenesis, Yes, bache. Anybody who remembers what is vitalogenesis? Vitalogenesis. Yes, bache, you all are unmute. Just answer my question. What is vitalogenesis? Anybody who remembers in Golgi complex, we did it. We did this in Golgi complex. Anybody who remembers? I have many students today. Ankita Singh also there, Zainab is there, Jasleen is there, Tadar is there. So anybody who remembers this, what is vitalogenesis? We did this a day before when I was teaching you Golgi complex. Yes, beta, if you remember vitalogenesis. Yes, anybody?
Process of yolk formation.
Remembers what is vitalogenesis? You don't. Yes, are you? Is that Yashika who answered the question? Yes, vitalogenesis is vitalogenesis is an generation of or synthesis of yolk. Okay, vitalogenesis is synthesis of yolk in the egg. And what is the yolk? Why is yolk required? Yolk is the reserved food material. Yolk is the reserved food material which is required for the development of the embryo. The embryo of so this is one function. This was the fourth function of this. Then the next last function of mitochondria is it helps in the synthesis of heme. In where is heme present? Anybody, if you remember heme group, heme. If you remember, where is this heme present? Anybody, if you have a little idea of where is this heme present? Yes, beta, heme. Where is heme present? Have you heard of this term heme? Along with some other word, it is connected. Heme group is associated with heme associated with. Yes, Jasleen, bache, what is heme associated with? Amrita, what is heme associated with? Heme, H-A-E-M. Heme is associated with what? Anybody who remembers this? Heme group is associated with? Yes, Amrita, you can speak up, bache. Yes, it is in the blood. Yes, it is in the blood. But what is it basically? Basically, it is hemoglobin. This is hemoglobin. So heme group is present in hemoglobin when it is in blood. Hemoglobin, synthesis of heme in hemoglobin, and when the same component is present, it helps in the synthesis of heme in hemoglobin and myoglobin. So this was the last function of mitochondria. So one is ATP synthesis. The middle part of the sperm, it has a number of mitochondria because it provides energy for the movement of the sperm. Then thermogenesis, when heat is generated. Vitalogenesis means synthesis of yolk then also it helps in the synthesis of heme, which is a very important component of hemoglobin. So here I finish with the functions of mitochondria. Anything which you could not understand in this? Yes, beta. Anything which you could not understand in this? Yes, but query, anything which you want to, is a component of blood which is responsible for the red color of the blood, hemoglobin. So this heme, what happens in the blood? The heme group, which is iron containing group, this has iron in it, it combines with globin. Globin is a protein, and then it forms hemoglobin. Heme group, which is the iron containing group, it combines with globin. Globin is a protein, so heme and globin together forms hemoglobin. And this hemoglobin is present in the blood and is responsible for the red color of the blood. So this heme, synthesis of heme is because of mitochondria. Heme, if heme will not be there in the blood, if hemoglobin is not there, the oxygen will not be carried to various parts of the body. So hemoglobin is very important, and that hemoglobin, out of hemoglobin, the heme is synthesized by the help of mitochondria. Any other query, any other question, any other repetition? If you want, you can just tell me. Yes, any other repetition, any other question? If you want, you can tell me. Yes, bache. Okay, now Amrita is saying no query, so I move on to the next topic, and that next topic is plastids. We move on to the next organelle, and that next organelle is plastids. So here I start with the next organelle, which is plastids. Plastids were discovered by Haeckel. Haeckel. These were discovered by Haeckel, and where are these found? These are found in all the plant cells, found in all the plant cells, and some protists also, like Euglena. Like, so Euglena also has a pista. So here the flagellum. So this Euglena, which is mixotropic in its mode of nutrition, mixotropic in mode of nutrition. That means if there is sun, it will perform the process of photosynthesis. If the sun is not there, it will switch over to the heterotropic mode of nutrition. So it is mixotropic in its mode of nutrition. So it is found in Euglena also. These plastids are basically of two types. The plastids are of two types. The number one are the leucoplasts, and the second type of plastids are chromoplasts. In some books, you will find that these plastids are divided into three. You will find that they also divide it into chloroplast. They write it leucoplast, chloroplast, and chromoplast. But it is not necessary, because chloroplast also has green pigment. So it's a pigment, you can put them under this pigmented plastids only, which is chloroplast. So here they are either leucoplast or the chromoplast. Now these are non-pigmented. These are non-pigmented. No pigments are present in this. And these are pigmented. That means Pigments are present in this. Pigments are the colors, the pigments, the colors are present in this. So another point is leucoplast. Leukocytes are the words you must have heard. Leukocytes, which are the white blood cells. So leuco means either colorless or white. So these are colorless. The leucoplasts are colorless. These are colored. Chromoplasts are colored. Then second point is, where are these present? These are present. The third point is, these are present in the parts which are not exposed to sunlight. That means the parts which are away from the sunlight. So present in the parts which are not exposed to sunlight. So the parts which are not exposed to sunlight, there the leucoplasts are present. Example can be roots, rhizomes, ginger, okay, tubers. These parts are not exposed to the root to the sunlight. So here the pigmentation is not there, and the leucoplasts are present. Then what is their function? Their function is storage of food. Storage of food material. Their function is storage of food material. So this is their function, storage of food material. Then we come to the next one. These are colored, as you know. So where are these present? This is first point, this is second point, pigmented, colored. So where are these present? These are present in the parts exposed to light, to sunlight. These are present in the parts which are exposed to sunlight. That means these are present in the leaf. These are present, if we say the example, present in the leaf, in the fruits, in the flowers. These are present. And what is their function? See, the function of these are to store food material. So chromoplast, what is their function? Their function is, first function, the basic function is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. When we talk of the leaf, the green pigment chlorophyll. And second function is to attract organisms. What do? They have bright colors so that the organisms, the animals, other organisms, and the insects are attracted towards them, and they carry their pollens to another flower, and pollination may be accomplished. Now you can divide this chromoplast into further into, you can say that these are of so many types. You can say they can have chlorophyll, they can have fucoxanthin, they can have phycoerythrin. So different colors they can have. Now, the leucoplast, we come to this one first. Leucoplast is further of three types. This is further of three types. The first type is eleuroplast. This is, right now I'm telling you now, leucoplast. Leucoplast is further of three types. The first one is eleuroplast. A-L-E-U-R-O-P-L-A-S-T. The second one is amyloplast. And the third one is eleoplast. So we have three types of leucoplasts: eleuroplast, amyloplast, and eleoplast. Now, what is the difference between the three? The difference between the three is eleuroplast, eleuroplast stores proteins. The amyloplast stores carbohydrates. And the third one is eleoplast. The eleoplast stores fats. So these are the three types of leucoplasts because their function is storage of food material. The first one stores protein, the second one stores carbohydrates, and the third one stores fat. Now, where are these stored? If you remember the structure of seed when we did, this was the maize seed. In the maize seed, we have this layer here, and this layer is known as eleuron layer. If you remember, this was eleuron. Eleuron, eleuron membrane or eleuron layer, and we had embryo here, and this was carbohydrate which was synthesized scutellum. Okay, so this eleuron, so you can say the outer membrane of what do we say, the maize. Okay, and other the pulses and all. Okay, outer membrane of maize, eleuron layer of maize, then the pulses and all where the protein is very high. Then amyloplast is there which stores carbohydrate. This is present in tubers. The tubers, which tubers? The potato tubers. Tubers are of course of potatoes. So potato. Then these are also present in rice, also present in wheat. Okay, here pulses and all. We come to the third one, ileoplast, which stores fat. So these are present in, the fat ones are present in the nuts, the seeds, okay, where the fat is stored. So the third one stores fat. So these are ileoplast. Any query in this, beta? Any repetition in this? Anything you could not understand the types of plastids? Yes. I have discussed the types of leucoplast. Now I'll move on to, if there is no query, I'll move on to the chromoplast. Yes, beta. Any question? Okay. Okay. So I'm getting the response that it's clear. No doubt in this. Now I move on to the next one. I move on to the plastids, which are chloroplasts. So for that, what I'll do that I'll erase this and I'll write for the chromoplast. The chromoplasts. The chromoplasts are further divided into 5-6 types. They are further divided into 5-6 types depending on the pigment which is present in them. They can be further divided into 5 to 6 types. This depends on the pigment which is present in them. The green colored pigment which is present in them, it is chloroplast. This divides them into chloroplast. Okay, when the green colored pigment is present, we say that chloroplast is present. And where this chloroplast has which green colored pigment? The green pigment which is present in them, the name of that pigment is chlorophyll. The chlorophyll is the pigment. Okay, this chlorophyll pigment. And where is this chlorophyll pigment present? This is present in thylakoid membrane. Thylakoid membrane. This is present in thylakoid membrane. Okay, so this green pigment, which is the chromoplast, which has green pigment, chlorophyll pigment, which has green colored chlorophyll pigment, is known as chloroplast. It is present in thylakoid membrane of chloroplast. Thylakoids are the plate disc-like structures which are present in chloroplast. The pigment, the chlorophyll, which is present in this, the stroma, if you remember, the grana. So this chlorophyll pigment is present in the thylakoid membrane. And then where are these present? These are present in the leaf, mostly in the leaf, some extent in the stem also. Okay. Now what is their function? Their main function is photosynthesis. Their function is photosynthesis. So this is involved in the function of photosynthesis. Then we come to the next type of pigment, which is phaeoplast. Phaeoplast, the next type of pigment, which is, first one was chloroplast, then we come to phaeoplast. 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 This is brown colored pigment. This is brown colored pigment. Brown colored pigment. I'm just I'll write here brown colored pigment. This is, and the brown colored pigment, this is present in the brown algae. If you remember, we did brown algae and the name of brown algae was Phaeophyceae. So it belongs to the group Phaeophyceae. Phaeophyceae. And what gives the blue color, this brown color to this? This is xanthophyll and fucoxanthine. Xanthophyll, xanthophyll, and fucoxanthine. Fucoxanthine gives the brown color to this. Fucoxanthine and xanthophyll. We come to the third type of chromoplast, and that third type of chromoplast is rhodoplasts. Rhodoplasts. Rhodoplast is red colored pigment. This is red colored pigment. And this red colored pigment, which is rhodoplast, is because it's present in red algae. And this red algae, the name is Rhodophyceae. This comes in the group Rhodophyceae. This comes in the group Rhodophyceae. And this color, the red color of this pigment, is because of the red color of this particular plastid is because of phycoerythrin. Phycoerythrin, this pigment is responsible for the red color of rhodoplast. So here this is red color. Then we come to one more pigment, one more chromoplast, which is carotene. This is one more pigment which is present in carrots. Then we have lycopene. Lycopene. This is present in tomatoes. The red color is because of the lycopene. You know, these days we get some multivitamins in which lycopene is a very important component. If you open the net, or if you open any site and you say, and you write multivitamin tablets, you will find that lycopene is present in most of multivitamin tablets. So these are the important types. Of course, there I have written 5. There can be one or more, few, but these are the important ones which I have written. So the green pigment, which is present in chloroplast, the brown pigment, which is xanthine and fucoxanthine, present in the phaeoplast, the red pigment, which is present in rhodoplast, the carotene, which is present in carrots, and the lycopene, which is present in tomatoes. So these are the chromoplasts which are responsible for the various colors of the leaf, the fruit, and the flowers. So their main function, the main function of chloroplast, the main chromoplast is chloroplast. So the main function is photosynthesis, and then the other functions are, of course, attracting the pollinating agents, which